tuning into my channel once again. Today I have an amazing lady up here who's going to share her story. Ladies, I feel like her story is very inspirational. So let's just sit back and listen to us talk. So how are you today, Farrah?
I'm good. How are you, Loni? Loni Jayy.
I'm doing good, trying to enjoy this nice Sunday, hopefully. What do you have planned for today?
Nothing much, just home, just hanging out.
I know. So, Farrah, your story just really opened my eyes, and I felt the need to have you up here because it was really inspirational. Before I get into that, I just want to talk about how you and my mom met. Can you tell us a little bit about that interaction?
Yeah, we met we met at the thrift store. Girl, great minds think alike, you and
Yes.
your mother. And I found a wig, um, and it was a human hair wig, and I was like, wow, this is really nice. And I'd never dealt with that before, but for me, I don't have hair.
Yeah.
This is, so she was, I just saw her standing there looking through shirts, and then I saw the little girl, and I just was like, excuse me, could you help me?
Oh.
And she was like on it, like she was like, girl, just what to do, like, yes, this is real good deal. And I was just making sure.
Yeah.
And then like we just started talking about like other things, and then like we just hung out the whole day, like.
That's so amazing to me how that came about, because normally we're scared to talk to strangers out in public, and the fact that you guys, well, you said something to her and it just felt natural. It just shows
Yeah.
that sometimes it's okay to open your mouth and just say, hey, you never know where that might take you.
Right.
So my mom, when she came after meeting you, she came to me and she was telling me about you. She was like, she's such an amazing lady. Her smile was just so bright, Lonnie. And then she told me your story. She said she's so pretty, da da da. And she told me your story, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I want to talk to her. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what the situation that you're in?
Definitely. My husband is in the military. We got stationed in Japan. Um, we were there for 3 years. In 2017, um, I got a virus from somewhere, and went into the hospital, not able to breathe, having shortness of breath. Just not being able to catch my breath.
Yeah.
And so I went in, they did a chest x-ray, and they were like stunned that my heart was the size of my chest. And they said I had congestive heart failure. So from there, I had to go to Japanese hospital, because at the time, I guess the military doesn't have a cardiologist. So I had to go to a Japanese cardiologist, stay out there for like a week, and not speaking Japanese.
Yeah.
And like no family except for my husband, and my husband was out to sea at the time.
Wow.
So they had to fly him in, because I had kids and my grandson. And so it was like, okay, we need to get her husband. So like Red Cross automatically, sent him in, and they admitted me for a week in the hospital, to just so that I could start breathing, giving me inhalers and medication and stuff like that. And then after that, they told us we had to move back to the United States because they didn't have the doctors that would be able to take care of me out there. So we had to come back to Virginia, and we came back, and we've been back almost 3 years now here in Virginia.
Wow. Now, the reason why your story is just, I don't know, it's just different because the fact that I'm pretty sure your life was normal before that happened. What were you doing before that, before this whole virus?
Definitely. Before that, I had my own business, a house cleaning business. I was called the cleaning fairy. And I had that for almost 6 years. And I was working like 6 days a week,
Wow.
um, 3 houses a day. You know, I was hustling, just me, myself.
I love that. Nothing like an entrepreneur.
I was hustling, you know, I was putting my name out there. I was getting references. I was trying to move up. I started from lower class military to like officers, commander houses. You
Wow.
know, you work your way up and
Yeah.
people know you and people, you know, they see you working hard at what you do. And I loved what I did.
Right.
You know, when you love something that you do, your job, you work harder at that job.
Exactly.
You perform to your highest level.
I
So
agree. I definitely
it
agree.
hit me hard when I couldn't do that anymore.
And so my whole thing is, a lot of people is not that strong, and that's why I thought your story was important to put out there, because the fact that you were able to keep fighting means a lot, especially when you was in this doing this cleaning business, making, I'm sure, good money, and then all of a sudden you're told you can no longer do this and you have to move back to the United States and just try to adjust to lifestyle like that. So how has life changed for you after the virus?
After receiving the virus, that they don't know what virus it is, they don't know
Right.
how about it. Um, I could barely go up a flight of stairs.
Wow.
I gained weight. I couldn't be around like chemicals, like high smelling chemicals,
Yeah.
or um, I just couldn't, couldn't do the things. I couldn't ride my bike, like I was.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was a lot harder to do things.
So what kept you fighting? Like what kept you going and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it through this. I'm not gonna let this defeat me. I'm gonna get the best of this. I'm not gonna let it get the best of me. Like what kept you going through all this?
Definitely, definitely was the birth of my grandson.
Aw.
My first and only grandson as of yet. He's almost 4 years old now, and just and my children, just wanting to be there for them, and not like, you know, I don't want them to not have a mom. That and my husband, he's been a supporter for me. He's always had my back.
Aw.
He's my best friend, and I just didn't want to leave my kids, my family.
I can honestly say I respect you for that, and shout out to you for having a good partner by your side and just, also being there for you, because not a lot of women have that. So that's definitely a blessing. That's definitely a blessing, and through the grace of God as well. The fact that you was able to get up each day and you're still like, just me and you, I would never know anything is going on with you, like I wouldn't know that that's an issue or that's a health issue that you're going through. So it
Yeah,
just shows that you're able to just, put it behind. It's like it is what it is. It's my life, and I'm in charge of my life. I'm not
yeah,
gonna let it hinder me. So it's amazing to see you with that, with that light on you, just doing good things and positive things. So being that you're unable to work in certain environments, and I'm sure you can't do the cleaning business anymore because of the high volume of chemicals, what are you doing now to keep you busy and to just keep you happy and in a groove? What are you doing now?
well, now it's kind of hard. I want to work from home. I tried to think about doing call center or stuff like that, but with having my grandson, I'm not able to be on the phone all day, with him being in the background.
Right.
So yeah, I struggled with hair my whole life.
Mm.
I love hair. It's a love-hate relationship with hair. It's like I love looking at hair and beautiful hair, but when like I could take this off, this is not my hair.
Well, listen, that look good too. You
And
can do
so
both.
I I constantly um go through the whole hair thing. So I figured, why not? Um, I know that, women, there's a lot of hairlines out there. There's a lot
Right.
of companies out there, and I'm not trying to be like rich and all that. I just wanted to contribute to the women that, you know, don't always want to have hair on their heads all the time,
Yes.
or women that can't grow their hair long, or just when you want to be looking good, always, that's my line right now, is always. It's called Always, because
Yes.
and I'm always wanting to look good wherever I go, and I always want to be ready and on time. And
I love that.
sometimes I don't, I don't have the hair that these girls have, and sometimes, and there's a lot of stigma to Hispanics or white people or other race that aren't Black women,
Mm.
who can, you see Black women, they have all these hairs, colors, and size. And if I was to do that, everybody would be like, oh, who does she think she is? Like
Yeah.
that girl is white, Hispanic, she don't need to be wearing that. But, I just wanted hair to, to look natural, to make it look natural as much as.
I honestly think that's a dope idea, because not every time, not even only that, not every time I want to do my hair when I'm running to the store. Like, it's easy to just put a cap on with a land straight and go about my business. So can you tell us a little bit, do you have like a Facebook page that people that's watching this can maybe go on to check out your hats with the hair?
I do. It's Facebook. It's the Always. It's just Alway with a Z. Um, it's called Always. And then my Instagram is always.2020 for the year that I started. And that's it. I'm still in the little baby set,
Yeah.
start of it, and I'm still trying to figure out if this is my niche, because not everybody, it may not, I want to help people, but it may not be my niche. And so I want to learn more and understand hair more and make sure that I'm doing it correctly. I definitely
Right.
don't want to do it wrong, and then people, judge me or, criticize my hair. I'm not perfect,
I feel
so
like people's gonna judge and criticize anyway, honestly, with anything we do.
yeah,
But the good thing about it is, if we have a passion for something, or we feel like it's something we want to get into, we need
yeah,
to try it. And the fact that you have the courage to even try it out and put it out there, I definitely have respect for that. And I'm sure a lot of women is gonna want to purchase that because it's really convenient, you know. And like
yeah,
you said, not a lot of women have hair. Like, you have cancer patients out there, and not a lot of people want to get their hair done for a permanent style. A lot of people switch it up a lot, so it's definitely um, a convenient use of wearing the hat with the hair already attached to it. So definitely thank you for that new venture that your journey that you're on right now. Any advice that you can give to the ladies that's watching this, that's going through, that went through or is still going through any health issues or health scares that's opposed upon them? Any advice you can give them to maybe get through that, or to uplift them so they, in times of discouragement, to just keep moving forward?
definitely. I can say that last year in October was probably the lowest time of my life. That's when I received LVAD, which is a left ventricular assist device, which basically is a machine that is attached to the bottom of the heart, and then it's routed through inside a cord in my body, and then the cord is attached to me to a set of batteries.
Wow.
And I can show you what the batteries look like. So basically, um, these are the batteries. These are what keep me alive. These, every day I charge these. I charge myself every night. Um, I do not have a pulse. I
Wow.
do not have a heart rate, because the machine is what's controlling my heart. And so that was really low for me, because you never get to shower. It took almost 4 months to take a shower. I'll never swim again in
Oh
a
my
pool.
gosh.
I'll never be immersed into a hot tub. I'll never not have a fanny pack or a backpack or a bag with a cord hanging out and a hole in my stomach. So that was a very low point for me, and I really went through a depression. And if it wasn't for just knowing that my grandson needed me and that he needed me to be alive, and my kids needed me, and my husband really needed me, it was just, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Um, and just my family kept me going. Um, and you just have to be strong. You just have to want to live. You have to want to be here. You have to make that choice within yourself, and weigh out, like, okay, this is weigh out the cons and the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put, like, okay, yes, this, and this is bad, but this is all good. And one day, you might get that heart, and right now I'm on the heart well, I was on the heart transplant list, um, but with weight and your body, you have to have a certain weight, and if you pass that weight limit, they take you off the transplant
Oh my
list.
gosh. So they took you
So,
off the list?
so they've inactivated me, until I can lose the weight. So currently, I'm in the process of a weight loss surgery,
Okay.
the sleeve. And hopefully, it's a long process. You have to get approved through a psychologist, a dietitian. You have to take all these classes. You have to eat right. You have to do all these things. And then your insurance has to see all that and then see if they want to approve you or not. And so that's where I'm at now. And hopefully I can go through this surgery, get this weight off, and be put back on the transplant list so that I can get a heart, and not have to live with this battery, um, you know. And I'm grateful for the doctors at the hospital. Like, there are people out there that they're just awesome. The nurses were amazing. The hospital Centera, the heart hospital where I went to downtown Norfolk, they were amazing. Like, I didn't need anything. They were there. All of the nurses were there. The doctors came in. They educated you. You had to learn about the machine. You had to learn about the dressings every day. And so, I thank God for my mother. She was there every step of the way. She never left my side throughout that whole situation. And she's an amazing person. And she's awesome. And I'm so grateful to her. Mothers and being a mother, being a grandmother, I mean, that to me is just like the biggest blessing. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you want to give up, and I've had my moments, where I would just cry and say, why me? Why me, Lord?
Right.
Why me? But then I go, well, I wouldn't want anybody else to go through this.
You're so sweet.
So if it's me, then my daughter, then I would take it.
Right.
So definitely, I mean, most people are gonna say pray and thank God and ask God, and that's all good. But when you have to mentally choose to live, basically.
You have
And
to choose
so,
love.
yeah, you have to choose to want to do better and choose to not just sit here. Because I could just sit here and have this heart and be depressed and not do anything with my time. But I'm not that person. I can't sit in one place and like not do nothing. Like, I'm constantly, doing hair, I'm braiding, I'm like
You're keeping
learning.
yourself busy.
Look, I will do what I have to do, and I do the best that I can with my home. I try to decorate as much as I can. Cleaning is a lot harder. Everyday things are a lot harder for me, but that, I don't give up. you ain't gonna catch me giving up.
I know that's right. That's what I love to hear, honestly. And from myself, hearing your story, it makes me think. I complain about, well, not sometimes, I have things to complain about. And it's compared to your situation, it's minor things. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you have a battery that you have to charge in order for you to basically live is just it baffles me, because when I think about the stuff that I complain about, like I don't have those problems, and the problems that I do have, I make it something big, Meanwhile, it's people out there that's really struggling and trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I felt like your story was very important to share, because I want people, especially us women, to just be satisfied, be gracious, and just don't be so, what am I trying to say? Don't be so like, don't yeah, like don't complain so much, because we are really blessed. We all go through different things, but it's to see you out here smiling, you're staying active, you're keeping yourself busy, and you're literally going through things behind all of that, but you're keeping it together. It's really motivational. And the fact that you have the courage to share that story, I'm just so grateful that you did that for me, because I feel like your story is the next person's story as well. And hopefully someone who's watching this would say, you know what, she been through that, and I'm going through this. I can live to see another day,
Definitely.
And I'm so glad that you had your grandson, someone for worth living for. So I don't know, I admire you, like
Thank you.
it's amazing to see you in this light through all that. Like I would have never known, just seeing you on person, I would have never known anything that you just told us. Like
I know your mom, I don't know, your mom, when I told her in the car, she started crying. And I was just like, no, don't cry.
I know, I really had to keep it together a little bit, because I was getting a little emotional, like,
Like she literally was like tears, and I just was like, no, don't cry. I didn't tell you for you to like cry.
Feel sorry for me, yeah.
Like, no, don't feel sorry for me,
I'm
like,
good. I'm done crying.
Yeah. I mean, I do my own crying. I don't need nobody to cry for me, But it was just amazing that I just met her, and she already had the empathy, and also I felt the love right there. Like she really cared, and I didn't know her. Like I was just like, first of all, I'm like, this lady is getting in my car. I have no idea who she is, but we about to go to another thrift store.
I know.
And go shopping, And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who she is. But when I told her, it was just, I felt bad, because I'm like, no, don't cry.
Yeah.
But she was like, and then at the end of the day, after we went shopping, and then I dropped her off at home, like, she's like, can we pray? And like, we sat in the car and we prayed together, and it was just a good day. I hadn't had such a good day in so long.
Look at that.
Besides, with my family. I haven't met any women here in Virginia yet where I can hang out and do stuff with. And it's hard with the whole quarantine.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
listen.
that's a little scary in itself.
Exactly.
And so it was so nice to have that day with her and the little girl, and just it was really nice.
It's crazy, because everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you guys linked up and was able to have that conversation, the energy was right. I feel like it's a purpose behind that, So you definitely can't take things for granted sometimes. Like you got, like me, I'm a thinker. If I was you and I met my mom, I would have been thinking like, what's your reason in my life? Like, what's the purpose of this? Because this don't normally happen.
Right. She kept saying that. She kept saying, God put us together for something. And I'm just like, and it's not that I believe in God, and I believe in, I do believe in all that. And I used to be a very church person and go to church, but when you get hit with something like this in your life, you do question it. You
Yo,
do question.
that I'm so glad you brought that up. Like I got a little excited because you're not the first person that told me that. When you go through something and it's something traumatic, you start to question, is there a God really? Like, cause why would God
Like,
make me go
wow.
through this?
Yeah, and my mom always says, well, God wouldn't put more on you than you could bear. And I'm like, I've been on the ground. I mean, I have and I could say 2 days ago, I was on the floor
Right.
just crying, boo-hoo crying. Why?
Aww.
Like to the point I couldn't breathe, because you always question, why me, Lord? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why do I have, what are you trying to prove to me? Because I mean, I'm not a bad person. Like, I don't
Right.
understand why. It's not like I was out there drug addict, or, like cheating on my husband, or, like I
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything to where I deserved that. But I don't know. And I'm still in the, still trying to get
Wrap your
back
head
to,
around it, but you never
yeah,
will. You never will be able
no.
to.
No, and everybody, they always pray, and everybody prayed at the hospital when I was there, and I didn't know, I couldn't do it at that point. Like, I was angry with God because why? I have a grandson I have to take care of. Why
And
me?
then with that, like I honestly feel like I feel like we're all gonna go through things and where we question God, and I feel like that's where faith comes into play. And
Yes.
also I feel like that's the whole purpose of us being there, to see if when we go through something, is it gonna draw you away from God, or is your faith really grounded that you're gonna stay with him? Honestly, I feel like everything is gonna work out for you. I'm gonna definitely pray that you get back on the list and get the heart transplant or whatever you need to move forward and get off the battery so you don't need that anymore. I feel like it's all going to work out, but like you said, it's something mentally that you have to become, one with, because it's not just going to happen overnight. Like you have to, especially with God, like I understand that people praying around you and things like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're praying and I'm going through this. Like, I don't want to hear that right now. But
Yeah, definitely.
the people, they see it. It's like they see it, but being that you're in that predicament, you don't see it, and you probably don't even want to hear it at that moment.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear any of it. Like, I was like, no. And it took me a while after that, even so, and then
What
coming.
got you? What got you going back to it then? Like being that you didn't want to pray, or you just wasn't on that type of time at the moment. What brought you back to getting
I
that
mean,
relationship with
I'm not gonna say I'm fully back completely with
God?
it,
But you're working
but
on it.
I'm working on the little things,
Yeah.
by thanking him for when my grandson does something, and I go, thank God I was here to see that, or
Right.
to potty train him. Little things, just working
Yeah.
on the little things that come into my life. And just you just have to keep working at it. I mean, it's not
It's a
something.
work in progress.
It is. And I think for me, I love gospel music, and music is really a big part of it, because I love the way it makes you feel, the way it takes over you.
Yeah.
And it's just, and that's another thing we had showed like I let her listen to one of the songs that I had been listening to. And it just takes you to, you just feel like he's over you,
Yeah.
and he's holding you, and that's all you want. You Everybody can be on your side, and your husband, your kids can all be here for you, but when you're alone and there's nobody else here, you want God.
Exactly. Someone to believe in.
Yeah, because and it's hard. It's still, I still question, but I try not to question, because then that just puts you backwards. So I'm trying to move forward with it, and hopefully I'll be able to get back in church and actually feel comfortable in a church, even though churches are quarantined right now. So so it's kind of
They're online now. But I
oh,
mean, you're a work in progress. No one can judge you. No one was in your shoes. No one been through what you've been through. So I mean, honestly, I feel like you're gonna come around at the right time and when it's best for you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like your heart's in the right spot. So I mean, take your time and just come around when you're ready to. Like you said, it takes time, and I understand where you're coming from. Farrah, I just want to thank you for coming on this show, and just expressing all that to the viewers and just letting us know your situation, because it's tough, and I'm sure it's tough to talk about and to relive. And I just want to thank you for your courage in doing that. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. And guys, if you're watching this, please check out her Facebook page and her Instagram page. Her Facebook, it is called Always with a Z at the end. And then the Instagram is always.2020. Am I right?
Yeah.
Check her out. She is doing something amazing, and I believe it's convenient for us. So yes, go follow her page and support. Again, thank you, Farrah, and we'll talk in the future. I have to have you come back on here and see how things turned around and changed. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one. You're welcome.
Bye.
So, sis, tell me, what's your plan?